All right, this is going to be a lesson on Life in the Fast Lane by the Eagles and Joe Walsh specifically with the guitar stuff. So we got this little riff to start out. So what's happening there, we got the 5th fret to the 7th fret on the A string, 5th string. Then you want to kind of roll that finger down to get that 7 on the D string. Come back to that 7 on the A string, and then to that 5 right there in the D string. So that's 7-5, slide the 7 down on the big string, 3-0. So that one ends on a 3 there, so you don't go all the way to the 0. So you got. Now the second time, so the second time it didn't have the pause that the first part had. So the first one has and a little bit of a pause. The second one has no pause, goes right into it. So then at the end of this intro we're gonna have. So it's gonna go 3, 5, 6, and 7. And then we got big open, and we got this little pull off. So that was 5 to 2 on the D string, 2 again, and then hammer into that 2 from the open. So you got. Then you also have the octave of this. So you got this, you could slide from the 7 to the 9 and go 10, 9, 8, then 9, 7, slide the 9 back to 7 on that one, 5 to 7. So for that one it'd be 5, 7, 8, and 9. So. So that whole thing there we got. So that was 5 to 2 on the A string to the G up here, the big 3. So. So a little bit of different timing on that end. And then we get into the verse. We got this E minor. Sometimes they do some of those things. So it's basically just an E minor chord. Could be like an E minor 7 if you want. So one of the fills there is these little 12s on the 2nd and 3rd string, down to that 14 on the D string. And there was one little fill at the beginning of that. There's one little fill where they go. So that was a little bit earlier. We got the 14s on the 2nd and 3rd string, starting up, bending them down to those 12s there. So you got the E minor for a while, then you got A. So you could kind of think about the A with like these 2 and the 2 on the D and B strings, going up to 4 and 3, 5 and 5, 4 and 3, kind of to do a little fill on that A. You could kind of just hit A, kind of rock it or whatever. But this little fill works good. And then you're back to. So here we walk into a B chord there, so we got. B. You kind of chug that if you want a little bit. And then you have the A. main riff. has a little fill like that. 3 to open, 3 to open, 2 open, 2 open. So there's one fill in there. So it kind of slides up to the 12th fret of the 2nd string, and then 10, 12 on the E, and kind of bend that D up to E, wherever you want to do that. And then you're back to another verse. So he has a 11th fret G string. This is a classic Joe Walsh thing right here. So he's bending the 11th fret of the G string, but he's got his pinky on the 12th fret of the B string and his first finger on the 9th fret of the little E string. So it becomes a thing that can sustain there. All 3 of those notes kind of working together. Okay, so then we got more verse. Then we're back to the A. We got the B, A, main riff, so we're going to do that main riff again, and then we're going to get into the solo section. So we got a B chord here, and then we're going to a D chord, back to B, then A. So for the solo section, we're going to finish that riff. We're getting this B chord here, this 7th fret. Kind of Chuck Berry thing. Then we're going to come down a string to the D, 5th fret. Back to B. Okay, so let's go back to that solo. So the solo is going to start in that B chord. And when it does that, we're going to have this. So we got that 14th fret of the 2nd string. So we're bending that 14th fret of the 2nd string up. And we pull off to the 12 there, and we go to the 11 on the 3rd string. And then we're going to come over here and slide into these 10s. So we kind of slide into the 10s, and we slide down the 10 to the 8 to the 6 on the 2nd string, to that 7, and then kind of go to that 6 there at the end. So that one's going to start with the 12. So we got 12, 13, and 14. Kind of bend down from that 14 down to 12. So the whole thing from that B, right where that B starts, we're going to have so at that point we got this 15 sliding into the 17. And then that 2nd string goes down, similar to how the other one did. We're going to have a 17 to 15 to 13 to 14 on the other string. So once again, the whole solo. And then we got this run starting on this G. So we're going to go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 down here, 5, 6, leading into the E, which is going to start a new riff. Now Now here we're going to come up to this E chord where you have your first finger on these second, third, and fourth strings. And we're going to start with this other one that's 11, 9, and 10 over here. So you need to get that angle on your finger so you're not hearing that small string there, but we basically just got to get used to these two chords and pulling that thing off. And then we got this fill. So I'm sliding up to the 17 on the second string from the 15 2 times, and then I'm sliding this one down, going to the 13 of the third string to the 12 and 14 of the B string. So you'll do that twice. Then you're back to a verse. So that one you're going to have the 14 on the D string, and then the 12s on the second and third string to the 14s. Bend those 14s up, give them some vibrato. So that verse is going to play out kind of the same. You got your A, back to E, walk up to the B, you got your A. Now the riff is going to go 4 times this time. That's once. You got the higher one you could be doing. You can also do that over here if you want to keep it more of a straight up thing with your finger. That'd be like the 4th and 3rd strings. So this last one's going to go. So it's going to kind of use these last notes, the 7, 6, 5, 3, and open. So. So you kind of get hung up on that 5. So that's going the 6 to the 5 there. He's got some fills at the end. Stuff like that. All right, so that was the Eagles, Life in the Fast Lane. Hope you dug that. Let's take a look at that solo one more time. All right, this is Witchy Woman by the Eagles. We got this double lead to start out the tune, so we're going to go. Okay, so we're hammering in the 6 to 8 on the second string. Do that twice, and then we're going to go 6 on the second string to 7 on the G string. So, and then we'll do that again. And then we're going down here, 5, 3 on the G, Slight bend on that 3. Little bluesy bend to that 5 on the D string. Okay, so the first ending goes down to that lower note. The second ending is going to go quick hammer on 3 to 5 there. It's going to like a C chord instead of a G chord. What's happened there? That sets up the first verse. Okay, so the harmony of this part is going to go 2 to 3 on the G string. 2, 3, 3 on the D. Then it's going to go 5, 3 on the D to 5 on the A. Then the second time, back into that 5 on the D. So one more time in this one. And like I said, it ends the second time with into that C note. Now the other one. 2, 3, 3. That's the first time. The second time would end with, we'll do the whole thing. Back to that 5 on the D. Okay, now there's a little rhythm under that that's like a G minor chord. 3, 5, 5, 3, 3, 3. So you go. So that's kind of coming in from part of a C chord, open on the G and first fret on the B string, into that D power chord, which will have the D bass and the 2 and the 3. So it's, then you'll do that again. And then you're gonna go 5s on the D and the G. So 5s to 3s, same strings, then to 5, 5 on the A and D strings. So you got G minor, G minor again, C, D, D, C, D, D, and then this is like C, B flat to C. So, okay, and then we have this little riff. So that's a hammer on 3 to 5 on the D string. And then this chord, 3 and 3, G and B strings. Back to that 5 on the D. And then, so that's a pull off from the 5s on the G and B to the 3s. Hit those 3s again, so you got. Okay, and then this guitar part can go to this little rake thing that happens when the verse starts. So that is like I'm lifting this finger up so it doesn't touch the bottom string open. I want open, 3, 3, and then 5. So I got that lifted really tall so it doesn't touch that bottom open string. So it does like a reverse rake there. So it's open, 3, 3, 5. And then you're gonna go to this other chord. Do that one a couple times. So this one is going to end up being open on the bottom, and then I'm barring the 3s on 3 strings, but I'm bringing in 5s here. So I got open, 3, 5 with the pinky, 3 again, and 5 on the 5th string. Okay, so those are some just nice, pretty sounding fills that get the verse started. The main verse rhythm is going to be this G minor chord top up here, 12, 11, and 10. So we're going to come in, we won't play on the downbeat, we'll play after that, we'll have a rest to start with. It'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, that kind of a thing. 3, 4, 1. Okay, so when this part came in, this chanking thing kind of starts that's going to get into the verse. So it's like so you're going to end up having 8 of these to set up the verse. That would be that little rake. That'd start the verse. Now when we start the verse, we're going to have 2 of these. 3, 4, 1. Then we're going to go to this D7, which is barring the 10s on the 4 bottom strings, bring an 11 in on the G string, when you'll have D7, do that 4 times, G minor twice. Okay, so the series is G minor twice, D7 4 times, back to G minor twice. So that'll be like 2, 3, 4. Starts again. Okay, now that part would just repeat that again, but there's a second rhythm guitar that comes in, and it kind of starts, it's kind of still a verse, but it kind of starts off the whole Witchy Woman kind of chorus feel. So that's going to be this G minor here, and then C power chord to D power chord. Do that twice, and then we have that with those 5s on the D and G, to the 3s, to the 5s on the A and the D. So we got G minor, C, D, D, and again, and then the, okay, so that happens while these chanks are going on, the second half of the verse. So then we have this bend riff. There's 2 different bend riffs. You could kind of pick whichever one you want. They're in harmony with each other. So one goes, so that one is the 6s on the bottom. You're bending the 6 on the second string. You kind of bend it down as well. And then you go to those 2 3s on the bottom. And then we're going to have this little thing, 5 and 6, 5s on the G, 6s on the B. That's to the 7s on the D and G strings. So here goes this bend riff. Okay, so that's one of the ones you can do. The other one you can do is the 5 and 5 on the G and B strings. Go to that 3 on the D string. And then you go. So that's a quick slide or hammer from 5 to 7 on the D. To that 5 on the G string a couple times. Kind of staccato on that one. Then hold that one. So we got. Okay, so that's the higher of the 2. The other one is. Now at this point, the lead continues in this part. This is like between the first 2 verses. It's going to go. Okay, so that was the 6 on the second string, and then 7, 5, 7, and then 5, 3, 5, and then 3 to the 5 on the D. And then we're sliding 6 to 8, back to that G note on the B string. So that whole thing would be like. The other one would have been. And then the same lead. Okay, then we're back into another verse. So the one would have the rake, the other thing, check. So that goes twice, and then we'd have that second layer. Those bends again. So this one has some new stuff. We're going to do a little chord thing. This could be the 2 different guitar parts, but you could do it yourself. You could do like a. And then we're going to do these chords, 5 and 6, then 7s. So we got 5 and 6 to the 7s, 5, 7s. So we got. And then we're going to take this and to the 7, 8. Okay, so it's a little harmony going on there. So we got. You do the other bend. Okay, now we're into the solo. let's go ahead through that a little slow. So we're going 3 to 5. So 3, 5, and then hammer into the 7. 6, 8, 8 on the B string. 6, 8 again, and then 4 bends. And then 6, 7 here. So once again, we got. So that's 7, 5. Quick ones on both of those. 7, 5, 5, 3. 5, 3 on the D, and then 5, 3, 5. So we got. 3, 5, 7, 6. So 3, 5, slide to 7, and then 6 on the B. 8, 6, 8, 6. And then hammer into the 8. So that was dum, dum, 6, 3, slide, and then 1, 3 on the G. So. So that was the tricky part. Hammer into the 8, slide, 1, 3, and then 3 into 5, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, slide into 5. So we got the bum, da, da, dee, da, dum, dum. There we go. So that was a 5 to 7 on the G, 6, 8 on the B, little 6, back to the 8. So we'll go once again from that hammer into the 8, slide to the 3 from the 6, and then we end with, okay, and then we have this G minor chugging on that, D power chord, and then switch to D7. That's 5, 7, 5, 7, 5. So we got D7, back to G minor. We're going to do that again. D7, G minor. So halfway through that, there is one fill. There's a little 13th fret if you're looking for that little fill in there. And then we're going to have those bends lick again. We're going to go. Bends again. Now we're going to go 5s, 3s, 5s, back to the C chord to set up a new verse. One of them just has this little rake type of thing. And they have a lot of fills on that guitar part too, so it kind of switches from rakes. It's not always doing those rakes and things. But the last verse is slightly different. We're going to have the G, boom, 4 times. You could insert these power chords, or you could stay up here and do the C chord on 12, 13, 12, and the B flat on 10, 11, 10. So from that verse, 3, 4, boom. 4 times, C, B flat, back to G minor. Next one. This one flips it. B flat to C to G minor. Okay, so you could throw in the chords like boom, check. Next one. 4. And then flip it. B flat, C. We got that other thing again. And again. Then we're going to have the end of the song. So that was the 6, 7, 5, 7, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 6 to 8 slide. Then we're going to go down lower with the same thing. We got 3 on the D, 5, 3, 5 on the A, and then 3, 1, 3, and then 1, 1, G minor chord. All right, Witchy Woman by the Eagles. We got 3 pages of tabs on this one for y'all. Hope you dig that. Let me know where y'all are watching from. Let me know if you have any requests. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching my guitar lessons. We'll see y'all soon. Thanks a lot. One of These Nights by the Eagles. So on our intro, this is going to be the version of the remaster from 2018. It doesn't have the extended intro. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this chord. We're going to hit these 12s. This is the top of an E minor. It's the bottom 3 strings on the 12. I'm using my ring finger. So what we do is we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and. So it's always the and of the 4. We're going to do this for 8 bars in a row. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. We're going to end on this B minor top, so that's 9 on the D string with the 7s. 4 hits on that. So we had 8 bars of this E minor chord top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that 8 times, and you pop right into the 4 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, and now the other part of the intro, we have 3 harmony guitars, and they're doing a chord thing. They're going. Okay, so one of them is on the D string going 7 to 9. One of them's on the G string going 7 to 9. And one of them's on the B string going 7 to 8. So all together go like 2 bars. And then on the 4th one, we got that B minor. Then we're into the main rhythm of a verse. So this is going to be E minor to B minor, and we're doing tops on these. So you're really aiming for, you can do the whole chord shape, but you're really aiming your pick at the higher strings, like the top 3 strings. So you could just do these like this, chords like that, those tops. We're going to have an A minor over here too. But you can do the full ones too and just kind of aim for tops. So 2, 3, 4. So our rhythm is dum da dum dum dum. And those are like staccato hits where we stop them quickly. So down, up, down, down, down. That's our basic strum for this part. So 2, 3, 4. B minor, E minor twice, A minor twice, E minor to B minor, starts over, E minor, B minor, E minor twice, A minor twice, E minor, a 1, 2. So we wait for the 2 beat on that next measure after our E minor. We're going to B minor, we're gonna hit on the 2 and hold that for a second. So we got a 1, 2. And then we're into the chorus. We're going to have this C major 7, 10, 9, 8, 7. We're going to do a reverse rake on this. Okay, so we got 2 times of that. We're going to have the rake up. And then we're going to go to a G major 7, which is 5 with 7s on the bottom 3. Reverse the rake that one too. We're going to do that one twice. We'll come back to C major 7. Then we're going to have this A minor 7, 10, 9, 10, 8. Reverse rake that one too. On that B minor again. Then we're going to hit a D chord after that. So let's look at our chorus again. Okay, and that puts us back into a verse. B minor, E minor twice, A minor twice, E minor, B minor. Starts over, E minor, B minor, E minor twice, A minor twice, E minor, and 1, 2. So that's the second beat on the B minor again. Then we got a chorus again. Okay, now we got our solo. The solo is going to come way up on the 20th fret on the E string. So we're going to bend that 20 up twice, hold the second one. Then we're going to go. So we got 12, pull off, 15 to 12. And then this one starts with the 12, pulls off 15, 12 on the second string. So we got. So that was 14, 12, 14, 12, 14. Then we have a little pull off here. 14, 12 on the D to 14 on the A. So D-da-doom, and then 12 on the A to the 15 on the E. Sliding the 14 down to 12 to 10. So we got. So that was bending the 15, then hit the 15 to a little half step bend, 14 on the G string. So 12, 14, 12, 14. It kind of does that same thing again. So now we slid the 14 into 16 and do the 17 on the B. And back, pull off to the 15. So that was a downward bend on the 17 and a full step bend with the first finger. You could use a different finger. It's kind of hard to do that first finger, but the more you try that one, you get strength in that finger. So up with the 15 after down with the 17. So let's take a look at all that. So that's two hammer-ons, the middle two strings, D and G, 12s to 14s. Then you're going to slide down to the 7s. So then we're going to go sliding into the 9. So we got dump, 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 dump. So we bend that 7. Okay, so let's take a look at all that we got. So here we go with a E minor 7 arpeggio, and then 7, 5 on the D, and then 5 again, 7, 5, 7, sliding into that 9 on the G. So and then we're going to bend this D string, half step on the 9th fret. So a little up and down, and then 5, 7, 5, 7, 2 7s. So that second one, you can do the up and down bend, and then 5, 7, 5, 9 on the G.
then we're going to end with this riff. So that was 2 15s on the small string. And then we're on the 14 and 12 on the G string. Down to the second string. And we got like downward bends on that 15 to the 12. Same thing here. 2 17 bends there. So once again, we got. And then we're back to the chorus. So on this version, on this remaster 2018, it basically just keeps doing that and fades out. But there are a couple of harmony fill riffs that I want to talk about as well. So the intro thing we had at. Now later on, there's some other things that go. Little fills in there. So one of them is 12, 14, 12, 11, 12. And this is like during verses after it's gone on for a while. It's got little fills in there. Then the next one is going to be 12, 13, and 10. So those go in harmony. The third one of that is 10, 12, 10, and then 8, 10. Okay, so once again, the first one was. Second one is. And the third one is. Okay, then towards the end of the song, they have this cool riff. So that's one of them. So we got 12, 14, 12 in the G, 11, 14, 12 in the D, 15 on the A. Okay, then the other one goes. So 12, 15, 12, hammer on pull off. And then 14, 12, 11 to 14 on the D. So the first one, and then the next one, and then the last one goes. So this one's a little different. High string, 12, 15, 12, and then 10, 12, 10, 12 on the G string. So that works in harmony with these others. Okay, so One of These Nights by the Eagles. Hope you dug that. There'll be a little tab to go with this. Thanks for watching Damon Wood Guitar Lessons. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, so that's the beginning of Already Gone by the Eagles. So we have this riff. We start on the and of the one. So it's like 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. So that's 4 in the A string, O, 2, 4 in the D, O, 2, O. Probably want to flip to that finger because we're going to do a bend riff. That kind of thing. So we got 1. So we're bending this 2 up, keeping the 3 down. Taking it down to the open, to the 2 there. So we got. So that was hammering into the 2 on the 3rd string with that little 3. To the open there with the 3. And then we're going to switch to this middle finger on the 3rd fret, the 2nd string. We're going to go. we're going to do a pull off on the 4 to 2 on the D with this rest of this chord. So it's like 4 open and 3, pulling off to the 2, going to the open. So we got 3, 4, 1. Now we're going to hammer into this 2 on the C chord, so we're really just hitting the D, G, and B strings again. Kind of a... So we're sliding into the 9 and the 8 on the G string and the B string. Twice, going down to the 7 and the 5 of the G string. And we end with the 5s and 7, 6. So here we're on the 7, 6. So we got 8 and 9 we slide into. Down to 7, 6. 5s. And then 2 of each there at the end. So we got 3, 4, 1. Then we got a new riff. So it starts on the G. You got your major pentatonic going on here. And a little bend here on the 7. To that 5. And then the same thing on the C. Okay, and then we start this rhythm for the verse. So as you can see, we got a G, D, C, and that's hitting some of the notes of a B flat chord. That's like the 3, 3, 3 on the D, G, and B. So we got, it's a little bit anticipated, some of these chords are a little bit. Stay on the C that time. Now we're going to have this riff. So we're starting on the C. That's a bend on the 7th fret of the G string, down to the 8th fret of the 2nd string. Back down to that C there. So let's look at everything so far. 2, 3, 4, 1. Verse starts. And then we had that fill. Okay, and then we're getting into the already gone. We're going to do this riff quite a few times. And there's little fills and stuff in there. These guys have fills all over the place in this. I'm kind of keep it simple for this lesson. You could always look up the tab. Like I suggest the Songster tab is really good. It's got all those different guitar parts written out. Pretty accurate. So once again, we've got this set of riffs. Really going to go 4 each. Kind of little fills like that. One more time. Next verse. Don't go to the B flat this time. Now we got the riff. 2 more times. This one's gonna go into this solo. We're gonna have. So we got a little riff right there. So we got 3, 5 to 7 on the A, 5 on the D string. We hammer onto that 5 to 7 to that 5, and then 7 to 8 on the G to that 8 on the B. So we got. So that's the beginning of our solo. We have the 10th fret up here. Bend it up, let it come down. And you start with the 10 on the B string already bent up. 8, 10, 10. So we got. So we have sliding into the 14 to the 13 on the second string. That 14 was on the G. We got 3 little bends on that 15 on the second string. We have a couple 13s at the end of those 3 bends. And then we go. We have a 12 here. He kind of pinch harmonicked it. But we got a 12, and then we're going 14 to 16 on the G. 15 on the second string. So let's look at the solo again. So we got. So once we do that, we're going to go. That's open twice on the G string to the 12. And then we do 2 more of those. So we go. And that's 10 and 11 on the G string to the 12 on the D. So we got. So that was 2 10s on the D, sliding from the 12 to the 14 on the D, 12 on the G, 13 on the B, bending that 15th fret. So 2 quick ones on the 10s. So we got all that stuff coming up. So one more time. So we kind of had a double hammer on there to that 13 and 15 here. Let that one come down. Here we go. 16, 15, 15, and bend this 18. So there we went major pentatonic. 17, we're bending up to the 17 underneath it, to those 15s. Now our new thing is, so we're going 14 and 13 and back. We're bending it down and we're going to the 12 to 14 here. So we got. We're going to do 2 little bends on that 14. So we got. And that was an 11 to 12 on the B string to the 12 on the G. So once again, we got. Now these opens are going to go faster. So we had 2 quick ones. Now the last riff is. So we're bending the 12 on the D string, hitting the 13 on the B string, going to the 10 on the D string. So we got a little extra 10 there, and then 2 quicker ones. And then we end with 12, 10 on the A. So we got. And that's our solo. So once more through the solo. Okay, and then we're back to verse. Stay on the C. Then we got that big riff. Do that a couple more times. Now this time we're gonna hit that C again. G. And then we just modulated to a new key. Now we're going to F. Back to C, G, and F. Like I say, there's fills all over the place, so there's lots more to learn with this song. A lot of great fills by like Walsh and Felder and stuff. So let's go real quick through the intro. So we had that, and it starts on the and of the one. So it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so I think that pretty much wraps it all up. That was By Request. That's Already Gone by the Eagles. Hope you dug that. Thanks for watching Damon Wood Guitar Lessons. So hope you dig it. See you soon.